So I lost it on my 4-year-old again. And immediately after, I felt like an asshole. I felt like shit. And I also like couldn't help myself but think, why the hell did that happen? Like I had everything under control. I was handling all the emotions really well, but yet I snapped. So if you're a parent and you also have had the same thought patterns or feelings, please stick around this episode because we're going to dive into what actually goes on internally. So hi, I'm Leslye. I'm a mom of 2 and a firefighter. And as a firefighter, I'm trained to handle really tough situations and to regulate and build a really strong nervous system. So I'm going to show you how to do the same. If you want to find out the ways to do it, please subscribe and follow along the journey. So let's get into it. Why did I blow up? So I'll give you a little backstory as to what happened. It was around 9 p.m., so pretty late for bedtime for a 2 and a 4-year-old. And I had just come upstairs to put them to bed. I was a little late coming upstairs because I was trying to just get everything done beforehand, which didn't set me up for success in hindsight, but we'll get into that later. Yeah, so I was trying to just finish up a few things downstairs. I came upstairs and my husband said that my 2-year-old is feeling a little off. So we took his temperature and he was pretty warm. So we took his temperature and he had a fever of almost 102 degrees Fahrenheit, and he'd been lethargic and he hadn't been sleeping really well. So we gave him a little bit of Tylenol. And when that happened, my 4-year-old just lost it. Just completely lost her shit because whatever my 2-year-old gets, she also gets. That's how she defines being fair. And yeah, so, you know, she said she was really sick. She wasn't feeling well. She needed medicine as well. And we entertained the idea that maybe perhaps she's not feeling well. So we took her temperature and it was like textbook perfect. It was 36.6. And yeah, it was perfect, like healthy baseline temperature. So we said, well, you're healthy. You don't have a fever. You don't need medicine. And of course, that just sent her off completely. And I understand where that was coming from because it was so late. It was way past their bedtime. And just before bed, we gave them a snack of, I think it was yogurt and some fruit. Pretty healthy, but there's still sugars in fruit and yogurt. So it kind of spiked her up a little bit, her sugar levels. And of course, like, again, did not set her up for success there. Anyway, so this went on for about like 15 minutes, back and forth, back and forth. You know, I had her doing the breathing. I had her a little bit more calmed. And at one point, like, it was just this like ebb and flow, like this up and down of emotions, just riding the waves. And we're riding the waves together. But at one point, like, she said to me, like, Mommy, like, I can't breathe. I can't blow out the candle. So because I always get her to blow out the candle. She's like, I can't blow out the candle because I'm just so upset. So I'm like, okay, I grab my hair. I always do this. I grab my hair. I'm like, okay, just make my hair move. So we did this. And she was able to calm her nervous system down a little bit. And yeah, so I'm like, okay, good. Like, this is pretty good. It is late, but I'm handling things pretty well. And then she started back up again. And like out of nowhere, I completely snapped at her. I just blew up. And my husband heard that and he came in the room and brought her out. And I kind of analyzing like what happened, like why I was handling things so well. Why did that happen? So let's pick apart the scenario here, the situation really. And what happened was that I had so many mental tabs open. I had my work that I was trying to do. I was trying to get her ready for bed, the guilt that I came up too late because it was already past their bedtime, and my 2-year-old needed attention because he was sick, and just also trying to figure out like why he is sick. Is he teething? Is there a flu going on? So lots of things running in the back of my mind and regulating myself the whole time while she was, having these crazy emotions. And that was when I realized, and I actually wrote it down. So I'm just going to read it out loud. I journal a lot. It's so good to write. So this is what I wrote. I realized that I was compartmentalizing a lot of the buildup, and that's not always helpful. And it's easy to compartmentalize our needs, wants, feelings, and deal with it later, one day or never. But then eventually it'll catch up with us because it's still using the same storage space in our minds. And it's like deep in our minds, really deep. It's like never cleaning up our computers. And eventually it slows down because you run out of space. And there isn't any more capacity to handle any more tasks. But with a computer, we can always just toss it and get a new one. We can't do that in life because we only have one life. And we're living it right now. So this moment, this is what we have right now. So I'm going to propose to you this idea on a new storage solution, and I call it the stack effect. And I came up with it when I was reflecting on this recent blow up, and I also recently worked a high-rise fire. So the stack effect in a high-rise building is when pressure is built up, and this pressure is rising vertically because of the architecture of a high-rise building. So just think a tall building, and you have the pressure, the hot gases building up layer by layer vertically, and then this just accelerates the fire. So now I want you to think of this as your own internal building, and this tall vertical structure is you, and the pressure is the pressure that you face in everyday life. So your responsibilities, your internal dialogue, your parental duties, and your professional life, like that's your baseline, okay? And now add in the external stimulation. So be it, a kid having a fever, whatever it is, it keeps building up, big and small. It just keeps stacking up on top of each other. And when you have this pressure built up that's stacking on top of each other, it's physics. And that fire just gets hotter. And that fire is your inner conflict and the blow up. So the reason why I want to differentiate between compartmentalizing and stacking is because for me, when I compartmentalize, I just put away this feeling and that's it. Like, it's hopefully to be dealt with one day, but more often than not, it's not even dealt with. I just put it away and it's gone. Sometimes it's ignored or sometimes I forget it. But when I think about stacking up all these pressures and problems in my to-do lists, I understand why I blew up. So there's that difference. So when you compartmentalize something, it's just kind of very abstract and it just kind of floats away. It's like, okay, well, it's not there, but it still takes up mental space in your brain. But when you visualize it and you stack it, you're able to see the problems building up within your high-rise building. You're able to see all the problems building up. And in doing that, it allows you to self-reflect. And then we're able to see mentally the pressure that we're taking on. So the next time we have more control of our reactions. So some of the ways to ventilate this pressure is to call for backup or really go in and visualize, okay, all these things are stacking up. What can I take out? What external stressors can I take out immediately? Maybe it's asking for your partner to just, little one is really sick. I can't give him the attention I want. Maybe he can look after him. Or the other way, maybe the 4-year-old is the one that he takes care of. You don't have to do it all yourself. And of course, the kids will have different reasoning and wants, but I think more importantly is what you need right now, okay? That's when you're realizing that you're overloaded, it's really good to just ask for help. Take the ego out of it and just ask for help. Take yourself out. And yeah, this is all ways so that you're better equipped to handle difficult emotions. Because the goal of this visualization is to give you a tool to recognize what your internal structure looks like. So conflicts are inevitable. Let's just take the pressure off, okay? Conflicts are inevitable in life. And I think when you accept that fact, you're able to free up a lot more bandwidth in your brain so that you can use that freed up space to examine other aspects of your life. You're able to free up the burden of trying to be perfect. And then you give yourself more mental space to be introspective and see what you need in life, what support you need, and what you can do to support your values, your desires, and your life. So next episode, we're going to talk about what happens when you actually do blow up. And if this episode helped you see your reactions differently, let me know in the comments what stacked for you this week, because naming it is the first step to managing it. And if you're committed to building this kind of steadiness in your home, subscribe and stay with the season, because we're building this one skill at a time. And if you want to go deeper into the full Regulate, Reframe, and Repair framework, watch the masterclass. It walks you through the entire system from the ground up. And I have the written workbook, so you can grab it when things get a little out of control. Keep it close to you. It's linked in the description. So thank you for your time, and I hope you're having a lovely day. I'll see you at the next one.